What's up, guys? Today we are checking out a DG Audio monoblock amplifier. Now this company is out of Barbados. They have locations in St. Lucia and Barbados, and they hit me up to ask me if I wanted to test out some of their amps, and I said sure, why not? So they sent me a couple to test. The first one we got here today is the 1500.1 DG. And if you want to check out their website, it's dgaudio.net. They do have a lot of nice looking subwoofers, mid-ranges, tweeters, and amplifiers, and even AGM batteries. So they got a lot of stuff going on over there. Their Instagram is dgaudio246 if you want to check them out on Instagram. So this one is 1500 watt monoblock. It's pretty compact. Looks nice. I'm digging the DG logo. Looks like it's got some kind of like graffiti lines behind there. Pretty sleek looking amp. You got lots of end cap venting, which is nice to help keep things cool. You got 4-gauge power inputs on this side. And on this other side, again, lots of venting, which is nice. I think more companies should just put those vents in. The more airflow, the better. But on this side, we got 8-gauge speaker outputs, power, protect, and clip indicators, your remote bass knob output or input, one RCA input and an RCA output for a through, high-low crossover, gain, and bass boost. So pretty nice looking amplifier. We'll show you a gut shot after we dyno it. So we're going to get this thing hooked up. They also give you some install screws, Allen wrench, and then here is the bass knob. So this amp is rated as far as the specs at 1500 watts at 1 ohm, 1200 watts at 2 ohm, and 1000 watts at 4 ohm. And those are 13.8 volt ratings, which is nice. They're not inflated 15 volt ratings or 14.8 for most of the daily driver guys. So we will go ahead and get this thing hooked up and see what it puts out. And I didn't even know this has a active cooling fan inside. It's pretty quiet, not sure you can hear it, but a lot of the smaller amps don't have cooling fans, so that's pretty cool. Just wanted to let you guys know that. Alright, we got it all hooked up. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so this first run is at 4 ohm. This is certified, and this is stopping at 1% THD. And the specs say 1000 watts. Now we're not sure if that means uncertified or dynamic, but the specs say it's rated at 1000 watts at 4 ohms, so let's see what happens. So 783 watts at 4 ohm, not quite there certified. Very good though. Only drew 68 amps, so that's really good efficiency. Alright guys, let's go ahead and do the uncertified test at 4 ohm. Let's see if it'll hit that 1000 watt mark uncertified. $810, almost there, man, getting closer. I bet we'll hit it dynamic, but it was a little short uncertified. Alright guys, here we go. The last and final test for 4 ohm, the dynamic burst. This simulates bass music like on the kick drum where it does short bursts of music. See if it can hit the 1000 watts here. And it's stopping right about that 811 again. So that's about all it's going to do at 4 ohm, which is still very good. 800 watts at 4 ohm. Let's go ahead and move on to the 2 ohm test. Alright guys, now we're ready for the 2 ohm test, and the specs say 1200 watts. So let's see how it goes here. Looking for 1200 on this one. Oh, and we did it, 1288. So it definitely hit the number there, 2 ohm. It just kind of kick-started. 1288 watts, and we only drew 118 amps, so the efficiency seems very good. We'll put a chart up at the end with it calculated. Let's go ahead and do uncertified. Alright guys, so now we're ready for the 2 ohm uncertified test. Already surpassed the specs already at certified. So let's see what it'll do uncertified up to clipping. Oh man, 1397. Dang. That is great power. 141.2 amps. So man, definitely 2 ohm. It's overshooting, so that's great. All right, let's go ahead and do some dynamic burst. And we're sticking right at about that 1400 mark at 1397 dynamic at 2 ohm. That's really good power, man, for this small of an amp. And this amp is doing a really good job of staying cool. Let me just show you guys here. So this fan is running and it's fairly quiet, which is nice, but the amp is not warm at all. So that's a very good sign. You know, when an amp gets hot really quick on the dyno, then that means it's stressing out really hard to try to put out those numbers. When it's nice and cool like this, that's a good sign that it's not stressing out, doing what it's supposed to do. So this fan is fairly quiet, so that's a plus. All right, let's get back at it. All right, we're all set up for the 1 ohm test. Let's see if we can hit that 1500 mark. Oh man, overshot it big time. 1906 watts. Woo! Certified. And still the efficiency looks very good at 1 ohm. 200 amps to do almost 2000 watts. All right, 1906. Very good, man. Very impressive. Let's go ahead and try uncertified. Wow, 2026 watts. Uncertified at 1 ohm. I mean, dude, that's freaking good. Definitely good. And I only have the power supply, guys, set at about 14.4 starting. So that way I'm not cranking the voltage up on this thing either to get the power. And the reason I did that is because in the manual they listed the ratings at 13.8. So, which is a good sign. You don't need overinflated voltage to get the power, but there you go, man. I mean, it way hit the numbers big time at 2 and 4 ohm. So let's go ahead and do dynamic, but this thing has just passed with flying colors so far. Nice, man. 2219 dynamic. at 1 ohm. So this thing is a great little amplifier. Let me go ahead and get this thing disconnected and we'll take a look inside. But so far this thing passed with flying colors. Super cool still, guys, to the touch. So super cool. Not even hot. That's a very good sign. Usually when you dyno amps, they get hot right away. That's kind of a sign that they're stressing out and they're having a hard time handling putting out that power. But when they stay super cool like this, to me that tells me it's designed enough to where it's going to put out what it can max without struggling. So when I see that, usually it tells me the amp's going to last longer and is built better, because it's not just struggling with all its life just to put out what it's rated at. So very good sign.
And now the final results.
And alright guys, here are the final results of this amplifier. You can see that it really passed with flying colors. 4 ohm was just a little bit under. The efficiency certified on this amp is really good, especially at 2 ohm and 4 ohm, and it's even decent at 1 ohm. So overall, great results on this little amplifier. And as promised, it's time for what's under the hood. So here's the insides of this little powerhouse amplifier, and it's obviously a full bridge. So right there in the back you got two large 2200 microfarad 100 volt caps. Those are the blue ones, and then the smaller ones by the power supply are 4700 microfarad 25 volt caps, and both of those are 105 degree. You can see the DG Audio logo on the board right there, and also the fan. And that's not a little small slimline fan. This is a full-size thicker fan, so it provides a lot more airflow than the small ones, and it's still very quiet. So that's a plus, because a lot of the fans in some of these amps are loud and they're pretty annoying, to be honest. So, and you know, it was such a trip. I pulled the back off this really fast after the last dyno, and I literally touched the MOSFET transistor hold down brackets, and they're so cool. So that's a good sign. It means that this little amp is overbuilt and it's not going to stress out just trying to do the power that it's supposed to do. So that's definitely a good sign. This amp did really good, looks super clean. It's crazy. Not a lot to look at when you see these full bridge amps, but they do put out a lot of power in a small package. So pretty cool, man. Alright guys, so that concludes today's video. Final thoughts on this amp are it did excellent. Very good, very well built, did not skip a beat. If you guys are on the islands, it's nice to know that you guys have some stuff locally now that you can pick up that performs well and that's good quality, because I know selection is limited sometimes depending on where you live. So that's cool. They also sent me a couple other amps, I think a 3K and an 8K. And also a cool DSP. So I'm going to be doing some more DG Audio products coming up in the next few weeks to come. So stay tuned on the channel. If you could like and subscribe, it would really help me out. I'd really appreciate it. But overall, man, very good deal. I really have no complaints on this. So it's nice to see new companies coming out. So DG Audio, obviously, they're making some good stuff. They're doing the right things. And again, they have mid-ranges, tweeters, AGM batteries. So they got a pretty big lineup of products so far. But, alright dudes, thank you guys so much for watching. I do really appreciate it. And until next time, peace out.
Please be advised, no amplifiers were harmed